Hi, Ines. We've got you coming out to Merriweather, Newcastle, New South
Oh,
Wales,
very good.
Australia.
Okay, yes, I can't. I'm really looking forward to that actually because I was in Sydney with you before, but I'm really getting wanting to see where you are closer to home.
Yes, yeah, beautiful location, much nicer than Sydney. Much relaxed, and smaller vibe. We're right. It's great.
Oh, that
Uh,
sounds wonderful.
yeah, and you're here the 25th to 28th of May.
Hmm.
Uh, Now, would you like to tell everybody a little bit about the 4-day SP class that we've
Okay.
got you coming out for?
Well, the benefit of the 4-day SP class is that it really opens your mind to the possibilities that you can do in hypnosis, especially in doing deep hypnosis. And you're already on the same page with doing the swan, doing all these things. And what I do is I take people into very deep states and they connect to what we call the superconscious, which is just a term for the part that we can find out anything from anywhere and is always promoting only the client's best interest, always. So it's as if they're running the whole show, except they have all this background and help. So it's a holistic system that we take our judgment out of it and we ask any kind of question that could be, some people say, oh, I don't believe in this and I don't believe in that and all those things, but we ask all the questions that are possible that we can think of. And if we
Mm.
think of more, we ask them. So it's a very holistic system because what we are doing is we're looking for the issue, but we're looking for the outcome, which is if someone wants the outcome, there might be more than one issue, usually. Many issues all piled up together to create not that. So what we want to do is, and their mind, their superconscious mind knows exactly what needs to be addressed to get the outcome. So we work towards the outcome with the help of their own mind. They lead the whole session. They don't, not their conscious mind, but their higher minds, their guidance. What we call guidance could be anything. I mean, you have people have guidance that is angelic. You have people have guidance that's their dog. I mean, it depends. It's always addressed to the person and how they do it. Could be different any time. There's no judgment as to that. Yes, we believe. I happen to be quite metaphysical, but I do not profess to give my things to other people. So it's always led by their mind, and you can use it from anything from very physical sort of issues, medical issues, all those sort of things, all the way to very spiritual issues. And it's just it's more than a technique. It's something that is a full system to address everything that needs to be addressed about a certain issue or a certain outcome, because the issues may be many. While we get, sorry, and I was just going to keep going here for a second, but when we go into the second 2 days of what we do advanced, you start to say there's a lot of practice involved. So by the time you practice those 3 or 4 days, many things happen in class. I've had some profound issues change in class for people. Their lives change, and that's what they say. My life has changed. And that's because they're doing the practice on each other. So you're getting lots of free work all the time. But it also opens your mind as to what is available to you to use beyond just suggestion and changing habits and all those things. What is really there and available for
Mm. The brilliant thing about the SP protocol as well is the therapist doesn't need to know the issue
you?
of what
No,
they're working on. It
no.
can just be
In
the
class, we
corresponding.
never know, right? But
Yeah.
usually your clients come and tell you what's wrong. I'm really depressed, or I'm whatever. I have anxiety, you know. But what you want to know from them, then if they do tell you, that just gives you more ammunition. But you do not need it. I've worked on people in conferences and stuff, and I never ask them what the issue is. And then afterwards find out that they were quite suicidal and had PTSD issues from being in the war and all these things, and it was addressed in that session because they were ready to do it.
Mm.
And plus, they don't, people who are those in those sort of circumstances don't usually like to share with you. They think it's too horrific to share. They think it's too horrific to tell you. And this way they don't have to relive it. Not that they won't get understanding from it and anything, but it does, we can actually do the changing through their higher mind. Yeah.
And this process, it's a whole thing from start to finish. So you don't need prior learning of other
No.
things. It's a whole
No,
package of.
I used to have that limiting belief. I just, like everybody else, had limiting beliefs that it had to be an advanced training for people who already had a background. But I'm finding that sometimes that someone sneaks into the class that has no background in hypnosis whatsoever, and they do just as well, if not better, because they have no preconceived things that they have to unlearn. For some of the things from the 50s and 60s, we've moved beyond, but we're still teaching some of that stuff. So some people will come in with very old ideas. And so now you don't have to shift those because they don't have them. It's sometimes a bonus.
Wow.
So anyway, that there's always lots to learn. I always say you can learn from everyone and everything. So, you know, we're all in the hypnosis community. We've really moved forward. And you know this, Lance, because you teach the Swan and you do all kinds of stuff. Now, back in the 70s, Jeffrey Stevens used to talk to the subconscious instead of that. But most of us have learned to talk to only the sort of the conscious through to the subconscious.
Yes.
And this is going to be totally different because we're not talking to the conscious whatsoever unless we want to ask that person a question. But we're always talking to their higher mind, and it gets done for them easily and quite fast, actually. I noticed now since I started teaching this back in 2004, 2005, and it's evolved so much that it goes so much faster. And it, you know, if you get into any quantum physics and things like that, where, you know, the field is growing of practitioners. If there's more practitioners, the energy is bigger, so it just becomes easier and faster all the time. So we've just precluded or excluded anyone who's not on the page of being open to all kinds of possibilities.
Yes.
But, you know, I'm upfront about who I am, but I understand that, you know, that people who are supposedly connected to the science and event, you know, evidence base, I ask them, you know, gravity is there. Just because you don't believe in it wouldn't stop gravity. The apple would still fall off the tree.
Yes.
Right? So just because you don't believe it's there does not necessarily mean that your higher mind isn't there, because you'll find it. Everybody finds out their higher mind is present.
Yes, certainly. And the advanced part of the SP, we cover some.
Oh, well, we do really interesting things, because the first 2 days are basic, is just getting you to understand the process. Then we decide how we can use it. We do very spiritual stuff because a lot of people like that. We teach how to do surrogate hypnosis with it. And we teach different aspects of even doing some pro-health issues. So people that are working on their body, you know, and everything, how to use it for improving your health all the time. And you can even throw it in. We have a medical program and we have other things, but in those 2 days, we can't fit all those bigger ones in, but we do those. And we also, anything that anybody is willing to experience, we will work on. And I'd also like to play more with what we call, you know, Walter Secord, who had the Secord state, which was what we call ultra depth state. And I can't teach ultra depth, it's a system, but I can take you to that level in Simpson Protocol if you are open to going that deep, because sometimes we have to remove a few fears and things to allow that to happen. But when you go to Secord, which I've done in most of the classes now, in fact, we're going to do a bit of a little experiment between us here, because I'm at my trainers in Germany right now. And I've got about 3 or 4 people in the room that can go to Secord. So we might do a little bit of playing and see where we can go and what we can do with it. Because we really don't know. All we know is that you heal faster there, which is a big bonus. But if you go to Secord, there might be a lot more, but we just haven't learned it yet. So the experimenting will be. So if you're open to experimenting and open to possibilities, this is the class for you to come to.
With that experimenting, you said with the surrogacy, people have used the SP process to heal their pets.
Yes, we do surrogacy with animals, but with people too. So let's say a lady had wanted to work on her son, a 2-year-old who had night terrors. You would work through the mother instead of working on the child. And you can access all kinds of different ways of doing that. There's a natural connection between a mother and a son or anything anyway, but we are all connected. And when we do it in class, we do it in groups of 3, and the third person is the client, and the other 2 will do the work. One was the surrogate, and they will feel, sense, or know what's going on a lot of the time. So it's pretty interesting. It's totally amazing, mind-blowing stuff, and it really does open your mind to the connections of human beings. Because, you know, as Reiki, you work with Reiki, you do distance healing. We do.
Yes.
We have all those capabilities, and we've kept them in a little box, and we haven't gone out and seen what else we can do. So Simpson Protocol is very always wanting to move forward. It's evolved so much, and in each class evolves it more because different things happen. And if it's a little bit, some people think it's a little too much, but I remember some of the people that have taken it last year when I was teaching, they are saying that they love using it because, for one thing, they don't have to judge anymore when they're working all day with clients. They don't have to do the judgment about what do I do? What do I work on first? What do I do? All those things are taken out of your hands because the mind puts it all there for you to do.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited. It sounds amazing. So everybody can catch you there on the 25th to 28th of May.
Looking forward to it.
They've got questions, they can contact yourself
or
myself.
Yeah, either one is fine. Always available.
Yeah. And if they want to find out more about you, you've got a radio show.
Yes, and you can watch Hypnosis or listen to Hypnosis Everywhere. I happen to be on hiatus at the moment. We're going to be in Australia, so I took a few months off and we'll be restarting. But there's in podcast all those ones, including one with Lance that I did last year. And there's many there. The last one we did, the second to last one was Bruce Lipton of Biology of Belief fame. So that was really good. And we've had Bob Burns on, of course, our friend. And all kinds of different styles of hypnosis. I've covered everything because I consider everything hypnosis. I consider everyone's hypnosis to be good hypnosis. It all depends on who you are and how you use it. So the show has everything from very Ericksonian styles all the way to having Melissa Tears tell us what to do. And in that great way she has, if you've seen her before, she's from New York and she's a New Yorker and she's great. She used to be a punk rocker. I love Melissa. And so we do very different styles of hypnosis, but we've been very, always had great respect for each other. So all the people are very respected by me, and it's usually mutual. And you said that you're doing Jason Linnett's podcast. Jason was on a while too, so we've known each other for years. In fact, he was one of the first places I ever taught Simpson Protocol. So Jason and I have known each other, and we have great respect. And you know, our hypnosis community moves forward because we all are integrating each other, and we all support each other. I know there's always going to be some that don't, but in general, I think that was the whole thing I was looking for with Hypnosis Everywhere, is to show the people out there that don't know what hypnosis is, exactly what it is and isn't, and how we are a community, and how we do different styles, and you can pick where you want to go.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, we're going to have some good playing time when you're there, when I'm there.
We will.
So.
Look forward to showing you the local area.
Okay.
And look forward to everybody to join us in the class.
Yeah.
And I had an extra special deal that I spoke to you about before, that anybody who signs up for my certificate of hypnosis class that's on from July to December, that I'm going to pay for them to come to this class because I want them to join in.
What a great deal.
Get the benefit of it.
So you're starting them off with open minds as soon as you've done that.
Exactly. Yeah, and have the extra. So they've got that option, or they've got the other. But either way, I want to see as many people learning off you as possible, because I came last time and it was amazing. I had a blast. And
I had a blast too.
calls of other people that had been telling me how amazed they were once they put it into their practice and started to play and have some fun.
It's all about that move it forward. I mean, isn't that what we're supposed to do? I remember when, I was initially taught by Jerry Kine from Florida at the time, and that he always said experiment, experiment, experiment.
Yes.
Because otherwise we will only go forward of funeral to funeral. And he was right. So that's what people are bypass us for sure. That's what we want. Our students are going to get better than we are. I don't like to think about it. In some way, my little egoism gets in the way a little bit, but I know that's what needs to happen.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll see you soon in May.
Very soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very soon. And goodbye from Germany for now.
Goodbye. See you soon.
Yeah.